Hey guys, I want to do a video on something which I showed a pretty good Christian friend of mine, who I consider to be pretty smart. And I remember him being puzzled by this and offering a very uncompelling explanation because I don't think a good explanation exists. And that's in reference to the age shenanigans regarding Abraham in the book of Genesis. So this is from my deconversion article explaining why I have doubts about Christianity. That's linked on the Christianity topic on my site. And this bullet point specifically is what I'm referring to. And it says Abraham's wife, Sarah, is taken for her beauty at around age 90, after she laughed at a woman her age being able to bear. She and Abraham also remarked on how old he was as well at 100 years old, as do Paul and the author of Hebrews, despite Abraham's father being 130 when he had Abraham, and also the extreme age of some people in what would have been rather recent history, like Noah, who would have been nearly contemporaneous with Abraham. If you sketch out the genealogies in Genesis 11, he lived to be 950 years old and died about 2 years before Abraham was born. Also, his son Shem would have been alive when Abraham was born, and he would have been over 400 years old as well, and so on. Also, Abraham goes on to have six more kids with another wife after Sarah dies, and dies at age 175, which makes his and Sarah's comments about his age make little sense, given that he would have been about middle age when Isaac was born. Isaac himself lives to be 180. Isaac's son Jacob died at 147 and had Joseph when he was around 90 years old and Benjamin when he was even older. Probably represents multiple layers of editing and blending stories together. So the main point of that, and you probably have to slow down if you're trying to respond to this and look at all these passages which I've linked here, is that Abraham basically his his age of 100 being somehow miraculous, or the birth of Isaac somehow being miraculous, given Abraham's age, doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense that they're remarking on how old he was as if he's like an old man, like as we would consider a 100-year-old nowadays to be very old. They're treating him like that, but given everything else that's happening with his age, his ancestors' ages, and his children's ages, would have placed him and his wife both at about middle age. So the story is inconsistent. It's basically sometimes it's using age 90 and age 100, like we would use them today to represent extreme age, like extreme old age. But within the context of the story, it's just like middle aged. And then you have this inconsistency where Sarah is supposedly, being taken for her beauty into this guy's harem when she's 90 years old, which also doesn't make sense, right? That would be like the middle aged um, treatment of age 90, but then suddenly she's laughing at someone her age being able to bear, and then the same thing with Abraham. So um, the reason why I'm highlighting this specifically is because I think it's nonsense, it's irreconcilable, and it just shows that the story was constructed piecemeal, like probably different versions of it were told, and then whoever collected Genesis, whatever person or people collected it, just kind of threw it together, and the elements, specifically in regards to their age, don't really add up. So, looking for a response, and please let me know in a comment if you've responded, and then I'd like to look at that response and then make a video response of my own. So, just a challenge to Christians out there. Should be very concise, and notice they didn't use anything outside the Bible. This is all biblical stuff, and I've given a lot of references that you can look at. Okay, that's all I had for this one. Thanks. See ya.